What's up? What's up, y'all? Polo Sports Talking ENT here again with another one. Make sure you hit that like, hit the sub, comment, notification, do all of that stuff. Okay, let's just jump right into it. All right. Listen, Carmelo Anthony came out and confidently said that he doesn't mind being reduced to a bench role. And I mean, this isn't really no surprise because I mean he came off the bench in Portland for the majority of the time, and you know he to me right now, like you said, his main goal is to win championships. Okay, now it'd be silly of me to sit here and say that he could just, I guess you could say, not be a starter because he can start. He can start in the NBA. However, that's not the primary goal here. To be a starter or anything like that. What we have to realize is that what's up with the JMJ 21? I see you in the building, man. Um, Look, being coming off the bench, man, it doesn't make you any less of a player than the next man. There's been lots of players right off the top of my head that I could think of that came off the bench and made the bench role pretty cool. Now, late in their careers, when you talk about a guy like Bob McAdoo, he came off the bench and was once a starter. Okay, and when he came to the Lakers and everything, so I mean, you could still be pretty successful. Then on top of that, there were NBA players that made a living that came off of the bench for the totality of their career. You have Manu Ginobili. Okay, you have Manu Ginobili. He was still able to average 18. You had Jamal Crawford and Lou Williams, instant offense all the time. All right. You had Andre Iguodala. He came off the bench and was a NBA Finals MVP in 2015. And then not I mean, you also got to realize there was Michael Cooper. He came off the bench. So coming off the bench, you can't always look at that as a bad thing. Another one was the microwave, Benny Johnson, and also Kevin McHale. But we're talking about a prolific, perennial all star at one time, and Carmelo Anthony being reduced to that specific role. And for some players, it was hard. It was hard for him in the beginning to make that transition. To know that okay, hey, look, you're not quite once at that looked at as that superstar as you once were. In my eyes, he still can give you buckets and still can do his thing and everything. But for what teams and GMs and the franchises are looking for, they're not really they're not really looking for Melo to be that starter. So I mean, it doesn't matter, and I'm happy that Melo was able to do that. You had probably bench players that had six man of the year. Yeah, that's right. JMJ 21, you spot on. Listen, man, like Kevin McHale. I mean, he was one of the greatest power forwards to ever play the game, and he came off of the bench. And like I said, Manu Ginobili. A lot of numerous of players stole from Manu Ginobili in terms of his play and everything. So it, I'm happy that Melo is just doing what's necessary for the team, and then plus as you get older, and as you start coming of age in the NBA and everything, you begin to worry less about individual accolades and scoring and all of that. And the whole goal is championship. Like Rasheed Wallace had came out one time in the interview and said he's not worried about scoring, how many points he scores, how how what his uh what his statistics are and all of that stuff. His whole goal with the Pistons was to get a chip. and that's what he did. That's what he did. And that's not to say that he came off of the bench or anything like that, but I'm just saying that when you talk about players that they get older and they they get up in age, they become less worried about all the scoring and stuff like that. But I'm happy for Melo because, like I said, Melo is one of my favorite players of all time. Matter of fact, I had him as the best player coming out of that 2003 draft. I'm talking about in terms of skill wise. As far as accomplishments and everything like that, of course, hands down, it was LeBron, but I had him and D Wade. A lot of people want to know who were my favorite players to watch. I'm going to tell you right now. I love Carmelo Anthony. Especially coming out of Syracuse because I thought what he did as a freshman was reckless. Nobody was really had that type of capability to be able to come in with a chip from college. And then I love watching D Wade, and then of course Russell Westbrook. Those were my guys that I love to watch. Of course, I love all types of basketball players, but I'm saying for that time, it was those three players. You said it was messed up that Melo didn't go to Detroit and they chose Darko Milicic. Yeah, you right. You spot on again, JMJ 21. Yeah, and look where Darko ended up. You don't even know where Darko is. Yeah, you don't even know where Darko is. So it just gives us a reminder of the type of capability that Melo once had. But as far as the Lakers are concerned, do I think that the Lakers are gonna go far? I don't quite see that happening. I just got to be honest, and that's not me hating. I think yesterday I was on Lou the Writer's channel, and one of the brothers on there said that I was hating. I wasn't hating. I wasn't hating. It's just that, see, the league. I got to give a shout out to LVZ because he put the one LVZ or LVZ NBA Talk. If you haven't subbed to his channel, go sub to his channel. Definitely his intellect for basketball and politics, you name it, man. His intellect is off the charts and is a LDBC brother. Listen, he put this in perspective. The league is getting younger, not getting older, and the only other team that was able to there was only a other team that was able to accomplish this while being older was the Mavericks, and that was about 11 years ago. Since then the teams have been younger. Now the Lakers, I mean, they were relatively up in age. Some of the players were up in age or whatnot, but you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, they were relatively young, with the exception of a handful of players. But their superstar was relatively young. He was 26. And, I already know what people are gonna say. Oh yeah, well, Brooklyn and all this other stuff, but that wasn't the case. But like this video, share it, subscribe. Also hit the notification too. Until then, Polo Sports Talking ENT. I will get at y'all.